So what percentage of women say not having time to talk to their partner strains their relationship? It's 40%.
Yep, the survey last year found millions of women only had 10 minutes a day to talk to their partner. 40% of them admitted this put a strain on their relationship. Welcome back to the final part of this morning's Right Stuff with me, Kaye Adams, holding the fort for Matthew Wright. And with me now is divorce doctor Francine Kaye, who earns her living helping people like you decide whether or not your relationship is worth fighting for. 0207 173 5555 is the number to dial. But dial it quick, as it is first come, first served on this show. And remember, there's no need to use your real name if that would make your problems worse. And we do have loads of calls stacked up already, Francine. So, Amy, what's our first one?
OK, our first caller is Paula, and she's on line 1.
Hi, Paula.
Hello. I'm in a child separation at the moment, and my partner's actually moved out for the last couple of months. We have a problem that he's actually a compulsive liar, and I've found that out about a year ago, to the extent he's really trying, but it's just not consistent, and I'm just having a hurt. Every week I'm back to square one again. After having a good time, it goes back to being bad, and I just don't know what to do for the best. We've got children as well.
Paula, it's a really difficult one, because if somebody lies like this, and then of course you have periods where he doesn't, and then it's like a honeymoon period and you think everything's going to be all right. People don't change without a lot of hard work. Yeah. You know, it's something that he's really going to have to address if he wants this marriage to work. But I would say to you, you know, I think you know yourself from what I'm hearing you say, this is not going to work. Because if you are in this relationship with somebody who is consistently trying your patience like this, they're not telling the truth, you know, is this what you want for your children as well?
No, not at all.
No, I think you know in your heart. I would say, unless he wants to go and get some therapy,
He's tried therapy, he's tried everything, and it's improved, but I just don't think it's ever going to...
There's obviously something going on, that he needs to expand the truth, or he needs to keep things from you, and that is something to do with him, nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
So you're not here, you know, Paula, to heal somebody else's life.
No.
You're here to get on with your own and bring up your children with your partner if he wants to abide by the rules, really. And if he doesn't, he's going to have to work on himself until he can.
Yeah.
I mean, also, that kind of behaviour erodes your feelings for somebody. I mean, Paul, I don't know how you feel about your partner, but can I assume that maybe your love for him is slowly getting chipped away?
So much for hurting me.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, you know, now you're losing respect. Carry on with your separation. You don't have to necessarily go for full-blown divorce. Carry on with your separation. See if he will go back to his counselling. Stay amicable, because obviously you have children together and you want them to spend time with their father. You want a father for your children. But don't go back with him until you really feel that there's been some evidence that you can trust him for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Paula, good luck with that.
Thank you.
I think, as ever, when you have these conversations, you probably know the answer in your own heart, but you kind of need to speak to somebody else about it. It's interesting about the separation. So many people say, we're having a separation. But unless something happens in that separation, it's just delaying, isn't it?
I call it a healing separation. You're supposed to, when you have a separation, the whole idea is that you look at yourself, that you go to some therapy, or you take some time out to reflect on patterns of behaviour. And if you're not doing that, actually, it's just a precursor to splitting up.
Just delaying the inevitable.
Exactly.
Okay. Amy, who else have we got?
OK, let's go to Emma then on line 2.
Hi there, Emma.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you.
Francine's here to speak to you.
Hi, thank you, Francine. I'm 41 and my partner's 41. We've been together 6 years, but there's, like, for the first 2 years we had lots of affection and it was really good, but now we don't have any affection at all. And I've tried to talk to him, I've tried to say, can we go to Relate or something? But he just doesn't seem interested in having any sort of therapy. And I wondered if it's worth me going on my own.
Well, Emma, I can really hear how upset you are about this. When somebody doesn't speak to you, it's like they're withdrawing their affection from you, they're withdrawing from you completely. And there's a wonderful phrase for it now, which is emotional unavailability. And this is kind of what you've got with this guy. I think that he needs to know how much of an impact his behaviour is having on you. And I think he also needs to know that you have some boundaries in place here, that actually it's not acceptable to be in a relationship where you don't communicate. So I think what I would say to you is to actually let him know, you know, sweetheart, when you don't speak to me, I feel really hurt. I feel very sad and disappointed because I want to get close to you and I want us to have a relationship together. So, you know, what I want is for you to tell me what's going on. And if that's too difficult for you, to actually maybe get some help. Maybe there's things that you're bottling up that you don't want to tell me because it feels like, you know, maybe it would emasculate him or something. There's possibly something going on. Perhaps he doesn't feel good about himself, but he needs to know that it doesn't work for you to be in relationship with him when he doesn't speak to you like this. And if he hasn't got any ultimatum almost from you, I don't think he will do anything about it. I think it will just drift.
What have you tried, Emma? Have you tried that kind of conversation?
I've sort of said all sorts of things, you know, is it vitamins, is it exercise, you know, all those sort of things.
Is there something, you're almost saying, is there something wrong with you?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe what I've implied, maybe that's the wrong way.
Yes, I mean, it's not that there's anything wrong with him at all. It's just that in his world, he can't speak about it right now. Yeah. What he needs to know is the impact that it's having on your world. Yeah. So he needs to know that in being in this relationship with you, when he's not communicating and you don't understand how to help him, makes you feel like he's rejecting you, makes you feel like that he doesn't want to be with you anymore.
But
and
Francine,
you could ask that as a question.
If that fails and he still won't talk, at what point do you say this is a lost cause?
How much pain are you in right now, Emma? It's kind of like we have to get to this place where we're in so much pain that we actually say, do you know what, I can't do this anymore.
I feel like that. I feel like going and having an affair myself. That's what it feels like.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily suggest the affair, but I would suggest actually saying to him, it's got to the stage where I almost feel like I want to have an affair because I want somebody to talk to me and listen to me. And I don't know what's going on with you, in which case I can't help you.
Yeah, so it's kind of shock tactics, and then you have to know when you've had enough. Emma, it does. We can hear you're upset. I hope that kind of gives you a nudge in a direction.
Good luck with that, Emma.
Time, I think, just for one more very quick call. Have we, Amy?
Yes, we have, yeah. We're going to go to Elizabeth on line 3.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth. Just a quickie, I'm afraid, but tell Francine the problem.
Okay, I've been divorced in the past and my partner's been divorced and we're about to buy a house. Now, he's buying the house initially and then I'm moving in and selling my house at that point. Now, I've got 2 little girls, but my partner has real strong commitment issues and we were doing all this and now all of a sudden it's very much... We're arguing all the time. He just won't talk to me. I try. He says, "Oh, it's just a commitment thing. I mean, it's a big thing to take on." And I said, "Well, it's a big thing to take on for me as well. You're asking me to move all my kids and do all that sort of stuff. It's a hard thing to do."
So, are you buying this house equally together?
Not initially, until I sell my house, and obviously because of the property market.
Okay, but then it will be.
Yeah.
I would say that one of the things that he may be worried about here is if it did break up, what would happen financially? Right. So it might be a good idea to broach the subject about finances and say to him, why don't we go in this with an agreement that we will both get out what we both put in, and over and above that, if there's any profits, then we'll split that, and see if that actually is something that is bothering him, and actually find out from him, say to him, is that could be one of the things, but could you tell me actually what it is that you're afraid of here, or that might happen, or you think that you may lose by doing this, because there's something that's worrying him about doing this, and it could very well be that it's so simple you could get over it and it would be fine.
But nonetheless, it is something that you're right to be cautious about,
Absolutely.
Elizabeth, I would think, because you could get yourself in a heck of a mess.
Yes.
So it's worth taking the time to explore
Absolutely.
all of those kind of options, isn't
Yes,
it? And
absolutely.
be absolutely confident. Good luck with that, Elizabeth. I mean, that's obviously to do with getting completely mired in people's lives financially, and at the moment we've heard the credit crunch, etc. Money's a big issue in people's relationships, isn't it?
Huge issue. There has to be some kind of equality, or there has to at least be trust. There has to be total trust, because if there isn't, you know, it will erode the relationship more than anything. I think money is the biggest thing in relationships, and it's born out of fear. People are afraid that they're not going to be secure.
And still people find it difficult to talk about.
And they still find, because it almost, if I'm talking to you about money, how romantic is that?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Romance goes out the window.
Well, Francine, thank you very much. Terrific advice once again. Nice to see you. We're almost out of time, I'm afraid, so no more calls for today. Thanks to all of you who picked up the phone this morning, and apologies if you didn't get through to us. And of course, if you still need relationship advice, you can always check out Francine's website, and the details are on the screen now. Or you can give Relate a call on 0300 100 1234. Again, Francine, thanks very much for everything this morning.